Hey everybody, Adam Savage in my cave with Andrew Klein. Andrew,
Hello.
how are you, sir?
Fantastic.
This is the first time we're meeting in real life, but we have a connection going back 5 years because Andrew designed and hand-built this amazing workbench and installed it here over COVID while I was out of town.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I have been abusing your masterpiece for half a decade. Will you just let's just give a start of what was the top line of why you designed this bench and what you were hoping to achieve?
Why does this exist? It started with the vices. I wanted to build myself a nice workbench. And I wanted a twin screw vise because they don't rack. It's just the functionality I wanted. There were really only two options and I didn't like either of them. There was nothing existed.
Until now, most big bench vices that are in these positions is a single wood screw. You can't really torque on it.
Yep. If you clamp something on the side, it racks. And there were two options for twin screw vices and I didn't like them. So for like 5 years, I just thought about what a vise should be until I got pretty close to this design. Close enough that I thought I could kick it off, and I found factories to make a preliminary design that was good enough for a Kickstarter. That sold a bunch of vices.
I remember looking at the Kickstarter, man.
Yeah. So and after the Kickstarter went, I could design the second vise because you have 2 of 3 sizes on this bench. So the vices existed, and then I could make my bench. So I made my dream bench. And then actually, I don't think you know this full story. One of my followers said, hey, I just saw Adam Savage talking about how he doesn't like his bench. You should try to get in touch with him and make him a bench. And I wrote back, like, how am I supposed to get in touch with Adam Savage? Like, I wrote kind of like how am I supposed to do this? And then I thought about well, I could at least try. So I managed to find emails associated with you and got in touch, and you emailed back and said, yeah, I'd definitely be interested in collaborating on a bench. So that's what kicked it off.
You did one feature about this that I really love, which is that the entire bench surface is two giant pieces of wood.
Yes.
This isn't laminated. These are they were dried for years.
Mm-hmm.
You were telling me that when you finally were making the first cuts of them, you weren't sure if they would change. Wood can be very unpredictable. So I feel very lucky to have this video.
Yeah, this was actually done by Matt Cremona, another woodworker who kind of pioneered a process for kiln drying and figured out how to make it happen and cut these on his homemade mill. So yeah, thanks to Matt also for making this happen.
Dude, I have to admit to you, having you come and work on the bench that I've been abusing for 5 years makes me feel like you will know some things about me, which almost no one else will know. Like the bench includes all your scars and all your failures and all your,
all the stuff that you might not have put in a video at some point I get to see. So yeah.
So you are here to make a modification to this bench. You reached out to me a few weeks ago and said you've got a new thing. Tell me what that is.
And make the bench even better. So for those people, quick lesson on bench dogs. These are 2 bench dogs. One's in the traveling jaw, one's stationary in the bench. And as the vise opens and closes, so do the dogs, and you can clamp things on the top surface. But imagine if the vise was maybe 5-6 inches more open, and you had 10 pieces of wood that you wanted to line up and drill a hole all the way. The ones out here would be floating out in space.
Yes, right.
Now, imagine the same thing. Instead of imagine this section of the bench being gone, which it will be in a few hours, and replaced with this traveling block. It'll actually be this way.
Oh.
And then the block travels out. And
with the vise.
Yeah, with the vise. And now these are your 2 clamping dogs. Now you can have those 10 pieces lined up here.
Dude.
So you make so this is a new add-on that can work with the twin turbo vise, or actually any vise, but twin turbo vices are my thing, so it's an upgrade for those. But you can buy it separately for any vise and turn it not just into standard clamping, but the best kind of dog clamping that is out there. Then this functionality is called a tail vise. So there are standalone tail vices, but I'll be the first one selling an add-on so that a normal vise has that functionality.
So you're coming into this and you're going to make a cut out of here.
Yep.
Woo, boy.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
That's the thing.
Well, the real exciting one, because the circular saw doesn't go all the way through, I'll be on my back underneath cutting here.
Oh,
because it's all got to come out.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
So that's the most fun one. We'll have to get some good shots of that one.
Okay. Dude, I have loved this vise. I really appreciate you coming and increasing its functionality, and I
Absolutely.
can't wait to run it through its paces.
Hey, thanks for giving me the chance to put it on your bench and show people.
All right, Doctor. I will leave this patient to you, and I'll see you after.
Excellent. So I mentioned at the beginning that this chunk is replacing this chunk of the bench. What I'm doing right now is just carefully laying out exactly the portion that I'm going to need to remove to get that done. And hopefully I get it right the first time. All right, time to make the first cut. I'm gonna take off the swivel now first. Here we go. Okay, so I made two cuts with the circular saw. The top one stopped here, and the bottom one stopped here. So I still need to get to this material, and I'm going to do that with the Japanese style pull saw. So I'll clean that up with chisels and hand planes, and then that will be the surface to mount the new block. All right, so I've got glue on one side of the slider. I've got the slider in place, so I kind of get one shot to get this right before it sets up. If I did that right, when I pull this forward, that rail should stay in place exactly where I need it. And it was sticking a little when I pulled it off, so I may have to fine tune it a little, but I think we're in pretty good shape. Let's give it a try. So this is the magnet that'll eventually be pulling this out. And that is going to be the motion that grabs it and keeps it with the vise, and it's a switchable magnet, so you shut it off and you leave this in place when you don't need it. Okay, the block's in place. That's a big step. That's a very big step. This last thing on this, before I start working on the jaw, there's some potential to clamp in between these two spaces. And to make sure that is as strong as possible, I'm going to use a piece of my cork rubber on that back surface. All right. All right, the next step is to drill some holes in the jaw to hold the switchable magnet that's going to pull the tail vise forward when it's time to use it. Okay, so this next hole needs to be drilled to a fairly precise depth so that just this bottom of the magnet is left to get it flush with the jaw. So I'm setting up the depth stop right now to do that.
All right, man. You said there's some complexity to this magnet.
A little bit, yeah. So this probably looks fairly familiar to you.
Yes.
MagSwitch, my former employer and now supplier, sells me this part.
Amazing.
So that goes in like that. Now this is going to be the magnet that draws the tail vise block forward when it's turned on. So,
and doesn't when it's not.
and doesn't when it's not.
So you've made the ability to turn this on and off in a housing like this?
That's right. So that is going to be all you see. Now, I want to be able to sell this to people with different thicknesses of jaws. So a thin jaw, you'd install this block this way. For a thicker jaw like I made for you, we do it this way.
You're having these CNC machined.
That's correct.
That is a beautiful chunk of brass and a really nice cut knurl.
I wanted it to, I was kind of going for like high-end hi-fi.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
That's I love high-end hi-fi. There used to be a website called Knob Feel, which really specifically was about reviewing electronics and how the knobs.
I ran across that,
man.
And it brought back memories of being a kid, like in the store. So as I screw this in, you get to a point where it's a little bit tight.
Yeah.
And you can just back it off a little bit until you, now the magnet's turning on and off, of course, but that feels like a good level of resistance.
Okay.
And then it's the pica screw that locks that cap to the base that turns the magnet.
Oh, so that's not a button.
It's not a button.
That's just the setting positional lock.
It's like a pretty set screw. It's like a set screw that's a design feature. So anytime there's a set screw.
I really appreciate you spending time designing something. I don't mean this in any way but complimentary, that no one was asking for.
No one is asking for
No one's asking for pretty set screws.
Not at all.
You wanted to make it. And can I just pause here for a second?
Yeah.
You've got an embedded trifold little trident there.
Yep.
That's how you actually activate it. So
Yep.
it's also weirdly tamper-proof. But
yeah.
I don't think that the tamper resistance was the point.
That wasn't the point. Wasn't the point.
Dude, I really appreciate that. That manufacturing fidelity is really tight. And you were telling me that's not EDM cut.
It's not
I'm even
EDM.
more impressed.
Yeah, I had to find EDM was too expensive. They would have cost $50 a screw.
Oh,
So,
right, because you had to do it for every single
one. I had to
no.
find a way to get that look with traditional machining.
I'm even more impressed. Okay,
so give it a try. Try actuating it.
Okay, so on, off.
Yep.
Oh, wow, right. So this is the outside.
Yep.
So then that is just activating this magnet, whether it's on or off.
That's right.
And this only turns 180.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yep. So when you want the tail vise, you turn that on. Otherwise, it's exactly as it was before.
Amazing. Oh, right. So that would be off.
That would be off. Yep.
Counterclockwise.
So let me get it together, and then I'll show it to you in action.
Dude, get it together.
Get it together. And we can still do this from the underside of the bench even when this is on. So. Still good. I'm just going to put a couple drops in where I know it can benefit things.
Nice.
Yeah, why not?
I'm proud of how little paint overspray there is on these clear windows.
There's not much.
No.
I mean, for 5 years of very steady use. I've got that a little. There's always a little bit of a trick getting these vices threaded in, right?
Oh,
feels better because you can be off by one thread. 9 3/4. Still off by one. I think that's better. I'm going to show you some clamping that's possible with tail vise that wouldn't be possible before the upgrade. So I'm going to raise a dog in the tail vise block and one in the bench. Turn the magnet on. Open this up, and I'm going to put these 4 boards between the dogs and clamp them. So those are secured. You can drill holes, work on them. They're held secure. If you were operating prior to the installation of the tail vise, you'd have a dog right here in the jaw and a dog in the bench. You'd open this up wide enough to try to support these boards, and they would fall through. So the tail vise function gives you the support of the bench and the 2 dogs for clamping. Okay, so we have standard vise, just like it was. You want to clamp something between the jaws.
Lovely, lovely.
Close it. Why don't you do the honors?
Okay.
And well, do the full honors.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Dude, and then these pop up and can be aimed any which way, which is a whole new thing. That's really exciting. And also we can set this right back.
Yep.
Dude, that is freaking an awesome addition. Also, these are really, really sexy.
Thank you. I'm glad you like them.
That is fabulous.
I made your bench about 6 months too late to have those on it. So sorry about that. Maybe someday I'll come upgrade those.
Fair. Totally fair. Dude, Andrew, it's really beautiful. I'm going to have to beat the crap out of it to get it to weather
Please
in.
do. Please do. Yep.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely. Dude, keep on innovating workbenches because I love what you're thinking. And it's way outside the box.
I'll do that. Absolutely.
Still trying to find my slate. Andrew Klein just left, and he has upgraded my workbench, adding this beautiful end vise. Very, very cool. But you just watched the video, so you know that. But there's something missing from the workbench. I know. The leather pad that I put on here 5 years ago is, I believe, at the end of its lifespan. I think it's time for me to turn it into something else. I don't know whether that's armor or a handbag or what, but it's time to retire one of the best patinas I've ever created in this shop. And it only took 5 years. So I have a new hide. I am lucky in that my cave here is only blocks from S.H. Frank and Company. One of the great leather stores in all of civilization. I don't exaggerate. 20-foot ceilings. The whole place smells so good. And I went over there and I bought a full cowhide. A full cowhide. Oh, a full cowhide. Are you ready? Oh, yes. Look at all this beautiful veg-tanned leather. I'm going to go out on Halloween as a cone. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, here we go. Is that how we're going to do it? Or we're going to go all the way to... Right. I don't. All right. Sorry. I'm over and underthinking this at the same time. All I need to do is measure this and take this over to my nice big cutting table, and I cut the piece out. I don't have to mark it out on here or anything. Hold on. Bench dimensions 26 by 62. 26 by 62. Let's have a change of location. So I measured the actual end vise as part of that. The dimensions of this are going to be 25 by 58. That is going to be the size of this pad. 25 by 58. That gives me, actually, it should be 24. I want an inch on each side. 24 by 58. That's what it's going to be. 24 inches by 58 inches. So here we go. Oh, look at such a beautiful piece of unbroken hide. Right, we're going to turn it over to market. There we go. I need an even longer straight edge. That should do. Yeah, that'll do big. That's great. All right, we're going to start at the very edge here. I'm going to be using this circular knife here, recommended to me by my friend Beverly Downen. Yeah, here we go. That, we don't throw this out. We totally keep this. This is super useful. Now we're going to measure up this side. We're going to square it up to the table. Yes. just gonna give it a cutty cut. Yep, just like that, all the way up to there. I f***ed up. Whoops, it wandered on me. All right, we're gonna come in a little bit. And then we're going to 58 inches, right? Yes. 58 inches. Let me get my tape measure. Just double checking my measurement. Yeah, we're gonna do 56. Beautiful, beautiful piece of hide. Gorgeous. Now, 24 inches. Here. Oh, I guess I could have used my ruler, but nah, not for this kind of big cuts here. 24. 24. This is ideal. This is definitely one of the bigger things I would be making on this table. Here we go. 24, 24. Moving forward. Moving blades past my hand. Always scary. I love this circular knife. Oh my gosh. Dude. Beautiful, beautiful pieces of hide. Hey, it's the same width and length. This is great. Let's put this on the bench. All right, here we go. Dude, how satisfying to get an upgrade to my bench and a nice brand new, I believe that's a 7-ounce piece of veg tanned cowhide. And I got a lot of extra to play with for some belts and some other weathered leather things. Dudes, there it is. First of all, really exciting for my bench to get some upgrade love. Thank you, Andrew Klein. 1, for designing a bench that I love so much, and 2, coming to upgrade it. I'm super delighted to have a brand new piece of hide on there. That's magnificent. And thanks you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching that video. If while watching any of my videos you like any of the t-shirts that you see me wearing, well, you can go buy them. And there's 2 places you can get them. First, you can go to tested-store.com, a web address that my crew laughs is one of the hardest things for me to remember in my whole brain. But now they've given me a second URL. You can now go to adamsavage.com and buy any of the t-shirts you see me wearing on this channel. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. Thanks.